What's up, y'all? Okay, so that other tattoo that I was doing, that I wanted to use to cover up this part of my tattoo, I decided that I was going to do something completely different. Okay, so um, I really, really, really wanted a tattoo, right? And um, in my last session, the last live I did, I couldn't figure out how to do that one, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, whatever. So I went home, and I was in Houston when I was designing that one. And then my next stop after Houston was supposed to be, or was Maryland, so I can go home and see my nephew for his birthday, and he shares a birthday with my mom. And so when I was hanging with him, I got the idea of, oh, why not just get his handprint tatted? And so that's what I did. So, yeah, I got his handprint tatted. It's crusty and peeling right now, which reminds me, let me put some A&D on that bitch. I always feel naked without my chain. I just took it off because it was getting heavy, or not getting heavy, but like getting uncomfortable with the way that I was laying. It's only been off for like 5 seconds, and already I'm like, ugh, where's that? Anyway, so I'm about to put some A&D on this, and yeah. So okay, so um, I was joking with my sister about getting his hand tatted. I was like, hey, do you want to go and pay for me to get his hand tatted on me? And that was like a running joke for like 3 days. And I okay. So I went to the store and I got some acrylic paint, right? And I used that acrylic paint to get his handprint on a piece of paper. And then I uploaded it to um, Photoshop, and I was just fucking with it and playing with it. And I did that for 3 days. And every day I'd be like, hey, I'm almost done with this tattoo. Do you want to come with me to go get it and pay for it? Talking to my sister. Where's my chapstick? I always hate when I'm frantically looking for it because it makes me feel like a crackhead. I'd be like, get up. Are you sitting on my chapstick? Get up. Anyway, and so finally I finished a design that I liked, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna get it, I should get it while I'm here in Maryland because I know it'll be cheaper. So then I started hitting up all these tattoo artists that I would find on Instagram that I like, whose work I like, who was near me at the time. And I was like, hey, are you available today to do a tattoo? Mind you, I was emailing these people on on Sunday because I was leaving on Monday. My flight was the next day at like almost 9 p.m. So I was like, well, it's either today or never. So they'd be like, oh, I don't have availability, but you can schedule for next week. And I'd be like, oh, well, I'm actually just visiting. I'm not from here and I'm leaving tomorrow. And so finally, oh, I need some Jesus. Oh, I've been smoking. And so I'm overstimulated. I have cotton mouth real bad. I gotta pee, but for some reason, I'm choosing to hold on to my pee instead of going to just pee. I don't know. I be doing weird shit like that sometimes. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. At least I hope. I'm not that big of a weirdo. And even if I am, I don't give a fuck. Mind your business. Anyway, so I finally found a tattoo artist, a black guy that I liked, whose work I liked. And he basically was like, well, this tattoo that you want is not going to be your budget, but for your budget, I can give you something as close to that as I can. So um, I was like, well, are you available today at 9 p.m.? Yikes. He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? So then I was like, okay, I'm leaving now. I'm about to go get a tattoo. My sister was like, oh shit, you were serious about that? And I was like, yeah. And to me, also, okay, hold on. I want to talk about something. I have something that I call stress ticks. And basically, when I am feeling high emotions, usually around stress or anxiety, I just do all these little ticking things, and I'll give you examples of it. And it's not just stress and anxiety. Like I said, that's why I said high emotions, because right now I'm just feeling really pumped and like I'm excited because I'm working on another tattoo and I'm streaming and high emotions. So these are what my ticks look like. A lot of times it's my eyes, right? I do this sometimes. Um, it's definitely always my fingers. And so I always end up doing this, which is crazy that I'm doing this right now because up until earlier today, I was wearing this sprint because I went to urgent care um, the day before yesterday because I couldn't move my fingers and I couldn't make a fist, and all of this was hurting. I couldn't move my wrist. And so basically, they told me that I needed an MRI and that I fractured or that I sprained my wrist. And so I took it off this morning, and I've just been like massaging it and doing all these different things. And now I'm like basically able to use my fingers. So watching me do this just now was like, oh shit, I feel better. Anyway, I do that. Some of them are internal, like I make a noise or I have to like say things over and over again in my head, which can be really exhausting. And then I do sometimes do this thing with my neck where it's like, I don't know, it's just a movement. That's really rare. I don't really do that one anymore. But my eyes and my fingers, I definitely always do. And it wasn't until maybe somewhere around the pandemic is when I finally decided to stop hiding it from people. Um, it I noticed that it started for me around when I was like maybe like 7 or 8, um, and it started with me like having the compulsory feeling or need to like stick up my middle finger, but specifically put it over one eye. I just could not do it. It was just something that took over me, and it was like I had no control over my body. I just had to do it. And so I remember I have an older brother, and he flew in after college or whatever to visit. And I was in that time where I needed to do that. And he caught me one time and he beat my ass because it looks like I'm just like sticking my middle finger up at someone. And I remember my mom. Oh, I used to do the verbal one. It's like a noise that I used to be able to do, or not used to be able to do, that I used to have to do. And I remember my mom made fun of me one time for doing it. But the thing is, I never shared with anyone that these things are just compulsory. Like it's like I have no control over my body when it wants to do stuff like that. And it's always different faces and different things. So it never really looked the same. And so she didn't know that that's what that was, or that I was like not having control over it. Um, but it did, like, just how my family treated me about it, whether it was like a laughing thing or like I'm getting mad at me thing. I just It was exhausting. And also I was a child, so I don't fucking know what it is and why I can't not do these things. And so I would hide it. And so all the people that I grew up with, they probably never noticed it because I used to be able to channel it into my fingers and then put my hands in my pockets. As an adult, I am this is like I do it more often now than when I was a child. And like I said, just around the pandemic, I just told my family, I was like, hey, I get these things, and this is my family, so I'm sure they've seen something, probably my fingers. And my sister was like, ah, fuck. I keep forgetting I'm not 100%. Yeah. My sister was like, oh yeah, I've seen you do that. I thought you just was like, I thought your fingers are cramping or you got arthritis or something. So I'm like, okay, I'm glad that it didn't like look crazy or nothing. I remember I used to have this verbal one, and my friend at the time looked at me, and I know he can hear me. And he said, "Are you good?" I said, "Oh yeah, my bad." I was like, "Oh, I'm tripping right now." Anyway, I'm just saying all that to say is I decided that I don't want to hide these little stress ticks, and so if you see me doing that, which you will in this video, probably because I feel it now, then that's what that is. Anyway, I forgot about my story. But yeah, so he said he can give me the closest thing to what I wanted for the price, which was 300 for this. And I really like it. Did it hurt? Yes, 8 out of 10. Do I have a high pain tolerance? No, I do not. But did I fucking eat this shit? Yes, I did. And I found that, like, if you tense up and you, like, when you get a tattoo, right? Obviously, it's a needle. So that first like needle to skin, whether it's like the first stroke of the tattoo or after getting more ink or whatever, it's always going to feel like a shock. And so if you tense up and you clench your teeth and your back is like, your whole body is clenched, it's going to hurt much more than if you were to do what I noticed. Obviously, that first pinch, clench, right? And then I would take a deep breath, and as I'm releasing, I would make sure that all parts of my body that is tense right now is relaxed. And in that relaxed state, it actually hurt less. I was actually able to like focus on like it, like me noticing that it hurts less when I'm relaxed. So at the high points of like where he was like by the bone, the tips of the fingers, that's where it hurt the most. And so that's when I utilized that technique the most. But the fact that I sat there the whole time, and by the time I was like, hey, do you want to take a break? We were an hour and a half in and he was done. He was like, yeah, we could take a break, but I'm finished. I said, what? Yeah. So, um, his little one. Yeah, so my baby turned 1. That's his little handprint. Okay, so when after I left, right? Mind you, I had just decided to get this tattoo like 4 days ago. 4 days before I got it. Didn't put any real thought into it. And I do have a bad habit of making impulsive decisions, right? And so I've learned to, instead of me thinking like, oh, I'm not going to make impulsive decisions anymore, that's not who I am. I know that I will. And I'm learning that when you have something about yourself that you don't really like or that you want to change, but you're struggling with it, I'm learning that sometimes it's okay to just work with yourself. I always forget that that's an option. So I was like, you know what? Okay. Instead of me saying like, oh, I'm not going to make any impulsive decisions anymore, I'm going to think to myself a couple things, and I'm just going to list some of it. Is this going to have any long-term dire effects on my life? Even short-term, is it even going to have any short-term effects? Does it affect anyone else? Does it affect my health or my money? Jesus, that scared me. Okay, so LA has a curfew right now of 8 p.m. because of the protests, which they're not even bothering nobody. Anyway, I don't want to spiel. And so now every day at like 7 o'clock, we get an alert. Oh, it's about to be curfew, but it's scary. I'm like, why am I hearing this every day? If this is gonna be a daily alert, it needs to have a non-amber alert sound. Anyway, here we go. Reminder alerts need to have a different sound than amber alerts or emergency alerts. Anyway, yes, is it gonna have any effect on my health, on my whatever, blah blah, just stuff like that. And so I thought to myself, like, you know what? I don't really see me regretting this. One, and two, this is actually my first tattoo. One that has meaning, and two, as an adult. Well, not maybe not the first one that has meaning, but let me explain that. My very first tattoo, I was 16. I was in high school. It was praying arms or praying hands with a rosary and a cross, like that typical whatever. But it said, "You are my everything. I love you, mom." Because I was like, how's she going to be mad? Mind you, I'm African. I'm Nigerian, y'all. I'm like, oh, she can't. I know she going to be mad, but she can't say nothing. It's about her. So I got it. Some nigga's house. I got home at like maybe 11 o'clock. I went straight to my mom, took off my hoodie, showed her my arm. I said, hey, I got a tattoo. I said, I'm going to just rip the Band-Aid off. Mind you, you don't see it here, right? And her reaction was just this. She was sitting down, just leaning over, looking at the floor like this. Silence. And I stood there for like 20 minutes. I said, okay, I'm going to go now. Going to bed. Good night. She couldn't say anything. She was really mad, obviously, the next day. She had some words just of the general disappointment. But she really couldn't, like, she didn't give me her full reaction because it was about her. So that was my first tattoo that had meaning. But because I covered it up, I don't really know that I count it. And also knowing that I got it just to butter up my mom, I don't know if I count that. All these other tattoos, well, actually, no, this is the first tattoo with meaning that I'm working on covering up. Time is only wasting, it says, but it's a terrible tattoo. And I got this when I was like 1 year out of boot camp. And I joined when I was 18. So I was maybe like 19, 20 when I got this. My actual adulthood, this is my first tattoo. The first thing that nigga asked me was, when's the last time you got a tattoo? I said, oh, maybe like 2017. He said, damn. I said, yeah. Oh my God. Mind you, that was just my first thought because I couldn't really I was like, I can't really think right now. You just asked me on the spot. But actually, my first tattoo was when I was still in the military. I mean, my last tattoo, I was still in the military with all of these. And so basically, my last tattoo was like 2015, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was fresh out of boot camp, like 1 year out of boot camp. So anyway, I'm saying all that to say is I was like, I don't think I'm gonna regret this. Especially because it's his handprint. I took his handprint myself. I designed the actual, artistry and all the things. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna regret this. So anyway, fast forward to the end of my tattoo. I'm like, do whatever. I pay him, I leave. I sit in my car. I pay to get out of the parking garage. And as I'm driving home, I have a crisis. I said, oh my fucking gosh, what did I just do? I was like shaking. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And I was thinking to myself, I just got a hand tattoo. I might as well have just gotten a tattoo on my face or on my neck. Like somewhere else other than like my arm. Like hand, face, neck. That's a big deal. And I went straight to the hand. But my thought was, there is no cuter place to put this. My 1-year-old nephew. There's no cuter place to put this than on my hand. And I'm a go big or go home kind of girl. And sometimes it bites me in the ass. This time it didn't. And I was like, so I was freaking out for like going back and forth for like 2 days. And then it started to heal. And I started seeing myself and living my life. Like giving a speech or something. Or just being in front of an audience. And seeing the pictures of myself that's going to come from that. And seeing his hand when I talk or when I play guitar. This is our first baby. Like my mom, then I have my brother and my sister. This is her first baby. This is our first baby. Go big or go home, bitch. And then like the next day I was like, oh shit. Like I was like, oh shit. What if I have a baby? But I was like, you know what? That's a problem for future me. And I got it on my left hand because like the old school thinking of me was like, oh, well, at least it's not on my handshaking hand. Which I'm not really sure that I care about that. But I do like it here. And so I realized what I want to do to cover up this part, which is what I was actually supposed to do in my last video. And so I decided that I'm going to get my dogs. It's like they're two heads. Sasha's head is bigger, so obviously I'll give her this big part. And then Sammy. I said, that's perfect. And when I was getting this, 8 out of 10 on the pain scale. I said, bitch, I'm never getting a tattoo again. And here, look at me again. And so, based off of these tats, I realized that um, red looks the best on my skin, and then orange. Blue and green just look the same, and it gives me like gel tattoo color. I said, I don't want any more of this on my arm. Oh, purple. I like purple also, which purple, pink, whatever. And I'm saying all this to say this is black and red. And so I'm going to do Sammy and Sasha in black and red. And I think that's just going to be the theme for this arm. Like every once in a while, you'll see some color, but black and red. So that's what I've been working on. I did some of Sasha's. I'm about to share my screen. But I just figured if I'm going to live stream, I'm going to live stream for the people right now who just like want to kick it. I'm about to start editing again and I'm watching Netflix. I may not say another word for like 2 hours. But I realized that, or I read that some people like live streaming stuff like this because they like to feel like they have someone around and that they're doing something with someone. And I was like, you know what, same. Like if I'm gonna be in here by myself, I might as well be in here with someone else virtually. Why not? So anyway, okay, I'm gonna go back to editing now. I hope you are enjoying what it is that you're doing. Check in to see my progress every once in a while. Here, let me do it now. Share my screen. Hold on. Hopefully my this live share doesn't get, what? Hopefully this live stream doesn't get, also I'm high, y'all. Muted because I'm watching Netflix. Okay, I'm gonna share my entire screen. Yeah. Oh, I'm like, is it gonna show Photoshop, or why wouldn't it, right? Okay, bye. Well, when I say bye, I mean I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm watching SWAT, by the way. I'm on season 4.
This is business, I think. How to repair shop? We've already taken down 4, but I can't shake the feeling that there's no.
I hate when Netflix doesn't remember where I stopped.
Fine. We moved around a lot. I didn't even know where I was when I saw LAPD on your uniforms.
Oh, so I did Sasha. Let me show you what I got for her, which I didn't finish, but a good stopping point. So I like this blue a lot right here. And this was like my inspiration.
What else can you tell us about it?
But anyway, so I've been doing that for a couple hours. I'm going to try Sammy now.
Wasn't supposed to go down that way.
How was it supposed to go down exactly? You paid her to service you, then you move on to the next truck stop, the next stop.
Well, I'm not the bad guy here. I was trying to save her. I'm sorry, you know this girl.
Then how do you know she didn't save it?
You know the signs on the floor. I'm with Long Haul Protectors. I've got the certification card in my wall right there if you need proof. Long Haul Protectors? Yeah, we're a national group working to stop human trafficking. There are more of us truckers on the road than the cops, so we do what we can to help out. Right, what stage you were in happens of a shootout at the OK Corral? I made a mistake, I know. Those cabrones that came out with guns blazing. I shot back in self-defense.
Anything else you can tell us about the shooters, the victims?
Yeah, friends' names. Before they drove off, the shooters, they called out for Rosetta and Monica. All right, thank you. I was just trying to help.
Just because you want to help doesn't mean it will make things better. Excellent call, cops.
Hey, I heard Shannon gave us the name of her recruiter.
J.C. Walker, reckless possession, larceny, aggravated assault. We'll be seeing the last one for the bastard now.
Wait a minute. You seem awful fired up.
Shannon's like this girl from high school, Becca.
She got the order. Traffic by home middle 52. She's 3/4 why I jumped on the bus when I had the chance.
I'm guessing Becca wasn't just some girl. All right, well, Luca gets that address. We'll roll out. Let me know you all coming through.
Well, you know, fellas that are deserving. So apparently I'm just a short.
I need to drop this off.
What the hell is this?
It's the money invested into the auto shop. Well, some of it. I got $5 now and the rest as soon as I can get it.
Daryl, how the hell did you come up with $5 Did Leroy give you this and send you to me?
He said he was sick.
You knew what?
If I knew he had that kind of cash, I'd have got him to spring for gas.
Look, the money's clean. I promise. It's everything we earned from the auto shop so far. Neither one of us is taking a paycheck until we pay back the full 25 grand.
Keep that for the shop. I don't need it back there.
No, I need you to take it back. It's a buyout. Listen, I appreciate everything you've done. My dad's right. I gotta be my own man. Stand on my own 2 feet.
Sammy's is gonna be hard considering he's a tan dog.
Well, you did encourage the boy.
Now it's not the time.
Any reason he wouldn't want you? Somebody's in got an address for our recruiter to see that things get around that.
I'll be right there.
Mm.
Take it home. I gotta go. Definitely more on this thing.
JC Walker, LAPD SWAT.
Stay on! Ted, can we wait? Let's go!
Nice to see Almighty SWAT can do some grunt work now and then.
Have we met?
No, but I know you. Officer K, right?
Hey, Sergeant.
Oh, yeah. I heard about you. You go around taking fellow officers in your free time and then report on them, right?
Guess you're gonna have to turn us both in now too, huh?
About conduct duty coming. Or neglected duty. Officer Mitchell. Yeah, that's right.
Go ahead and so memorable.
Nah, in that good way. I'll do. I got this. Officer Mitchell, take that suspect down to SWAT HQ. Now.
I guess I'll get started on the investigation. Probably a lot of damage to sort out.
Listen, Deacon, it's fine.
I never met this Paul Temple guy in person. I swear.
What about the girls he trafficked?
Trafficked?
I got a witness who says you recorded him.
Who? Shannon? Try the other way around. She recruited me. She hit me up on social media and flirted a bit. She was cute. I just got out of her.
You were jumping.
I guess, but she approached me.
Yeah, that's because she was forced to.
She seemed eager.
You know, consent's not really an option on trafficking victims.
Hooker wearing different lipsticks still look.
They're not hookers, they're hostages. Girls like Shannon get abducted and forced to turn tricks.
The service 10 guys have paid their pimps and beat them within an inch of their life. Does that sound like eagerties?
And just so you're crystal clear, solicitation is a misdemeanor. But trafficking is a felony. And it comes with a hefty prison sentence.
Hey, this is where you start talking till we tell you to stop.
Paul coordinated everything on that, so I never met him. I paid the Venmo and he sent them everything back and forth.
Where?
I've never got the address, but I think it's somewhere in Sun Valley.
Precinct 10 got J.C. Walker to cop up the location for the missing girls. Good. It's like any progress right now. Yeah, I can handle blowback from jerks and Mitchell and Billings. It just sucks. Everything we did, nothing came. I know. Keegan, I've been saying it. The system needs to change. If it's not going to change on its own, then maybe we need to force it. I mean, maybe we got one less cord we can play. I did everything I could. What do you want me to do? Not you, man. Done enough. Talking about me. Aside that, you know how bureaucracy works. How slow things move in the LAPD. Nothing's going to change.
Bro, where is?
Those actions are made public. Maybe we can force the department's hand. It's like one on the press. No way in hell. You get it 10 times worse. Do you see any other option? Yeah, we take a hard look at sponsor recruiting methods. We revise them if we have to. We spot the next term a mile away. There shouldn't be a next term. We're just supposed to let the union lead these guys out in the street. It's not your family that officers like Durham and his buddies target. It's I know. What you were talking about is career suicide.
Hey, got your message. Why would she lie about JC being her recruiter?
Some of these girls get so psychologically scarred, they'll feed cops fake intel to cover for their handlers. No, the more abusive the handlers,
Trauma caused by physical and emotional abuse. It's hard to explain. It's like a vicious cycle. It makes people do strange things.
These creeps like JC are why trafficking exists in the first place, supply and demand. I don't know how you break that cycle.
neither. I'll sleep better if we can help these girls escape it.
They all will.
There are dozens of social media profiles affiliated with Paul Temple's account, but only 6 were active in the last month.
So there's 6 girls in this trafficking.
5 of them still in women being used. Zara, Monica, Danny, Julie, and Laura.
You arrested JC. We know he's not the one who recruited you. We won't be able to use you again. Lying only makes it harder for us to help you.
Especially when there are 5 other girls who need our help. Your help.
I knew a girl in high school. Her name was Becca Matonic. She was my first big crush. And she had everything going for her. A few weeks after I got up the courage to ask her out, she disappeared. We found out later she'd been abducted and trafficked. My friend's family never saw her again until it was pretty bad. I don't want Becca's story to be your story, Shannon. Please.
I hated when JC came around. He was cruel and very rough. Sorry for mine.
Can you tell us about where you and the other girls were kept?
It was at Barry's place.
Barry was the other shooter of the drug stop. They were in the ring.
Paul, Barry, and one other guy. I never heard his name, but he had a real bad temper. There was this old rusty birdhouse outside my window at that place. When things got bad, I always looked out the window at the birds. But they weren't there.
What do you mean?
That thing outside wasn't a real birdhouse, so there weren't any birds. But pretending there were helped me. Anything was better than being.
Oh.
This birdhouse. What did it look like exactly? Birdhouse Shannon saw inside our window is actually a decommissioned Cold War siren. This map shows all of them in LA. Maybe we can use it to find the location where the girls are being kept.
That's gonna be tough. From the looks of it, there's more of these sirens and Starbucks in town.
He looks like a raccoon like this.
Sun Valley.
2 of those sirens in the Sun Valley manufacturing quarter. That's all. Warehouses and factories.
Third one's in a residential area.
I love the images on that block.
I'm just checking on y'all.
Only 2 of these houses have a clear view of that siren. Pull up the property records. The first house is owned by Deandra D. Second one, Barry Gonda.
Barry was the main one of Shannon's traffickers. That's got to be the problem.
You think she's telling the truth this time? Let's get a warrant and find out. 30 David in position. Chris, what do you see?
It looks quiet. Can't see inside. I clock security cameras at the 1, 2, and 4 sides.
More cameras on the 3 side. No easy point of entry.
Eyes on every side. Makes it easier to keep unwanted people out.
Keep the victims in.
Before David, I got an extra approaching eastbound.
What are your positions?
I've got eyes on Barry Gonia and 2 females.
So is it on Monica? 2 girls from the truck stop.
Ready to execute the search warrant.
Chris, looking on the 3 side. The rest of you want in.
Upstairs! Don't move. You'll be okay. Shoot. You nuts inside?
Right back now. Go. 26 days. Suspect is barricaded in the upstairs bedroom on the 3-4 corner.
Suspect out the window.
On your knees. Hands behind your head.
All clear. Yeah, we'll set up Monica and Danny.
No sign of Laura, Julie, or the third driver. Nobody from the brothel we raided is talking. Hope you got good news, Luca.
I'm still coming through security footage back.
I'm confused. Wait, this
It's
is
from yesterday. Some guy arguing with Barry Gagne.
You like the ID?
I think I might have one. Vice looked into the ring's financial records. The Venmo account JC paid into had a second email associated with it. An email linked to an old PayPal account belonging to an Edgar. Well, okay, that's our guy. He owns a former long-haul trucker with priors for sexual assault and armed robbery.
Also suspected of the murder of 2 20-year-old women in Barstow.
Those victims are believed to be part of a different trafficking ring up in San Jose.
Yeah, I bet he skipped out, killed those victims to cover his tracks, and started up brand new in LA.
If Edgar knows we're under him, Laura and Julie may not have one. He's gonna look to move him or worse. Any idea of their current location?
Alright, this footage is from today. Edgar left with Laura and Julie 30 minutes before SWAT showed up.
Great. We've got an armed suspect with a history of violence, 2 hostages, and only 5,000 square miles of ground to cover.
Yeah, assuming that he's safe in LA County.
I get a bolo out on him.
All right, I'll put a special blowout on my own via our friends at long-haul protectors. We've got as many eyes out there as possible. Putting a couple thousand long-haul protectors. Someone spots them, you know right away. Good. Sometimes you gotta think outside of the box to move things along. Right? You're not gonna let this go, are you? Do you regret it? Recording Durham and the others, what came out? It was the right thing to do. Besides shattering my reputation on the rank and file, amounted to absolutely nothing. My gut is telling me the consequences for what you're considering are going to be much worse. As a friend.
Hey, trucker spotted Edgar and his 2 girls in the Fontana truck stop.
Mr. Big Goat was lonely. Why don't you go say hi, Julie?
Go say hi. You'll be sleeping in a ditch outside Barstow.
I'm looking for a ride.
Get in. Now.
I got eyes on the suspect and 1 victim. Setting eastbound. Suspect entered the building in foot
Here. You're gonna be okay, Laura.
I want to scratch this so bad. I'm just scratching around it though. It's itchy.
He shot me, took my truck, and the girl inside. It's good. This is 20 David. Suspect has a hostage and is heading eastbound on Sawyer Parkway in a white semi-truck. License plate, Wayne, Adam, 0237. Take your seat, you got to leave. Let's just split it up when we get that patrol car. If that thing ignites, the whole truck's going up along with the hub. Be advised, the tanker is leaking gas. You need to disable the engine, stop it ASAP.
Mm.
Get us in front of it. Let's force this stuff.
Less than 2 blocks to the off ramp.
Don't let him get to the freeway. All right, here comes the window, Sam. See if I can draw him to the right. This is 20 David. That thing's gonna blow. Get everybody back. You gotta get through there fast. It's moving. Hey, you stop it. Shoot me your head. Come on, Sam. Hey, who's your hands? Look, Julie. No, get out. Get to the door now. What is it? Everyone good?
38, we're good. You guys all right?
20 David's committed. Code for it.
Just busted a major trafficking ring with a smile, Kelly.
After I joined Vice, I looked into my old crush, Becca. I found out she escaped from traffickers. But years of abuse took a toll. Drugs, theft. Not everyone escapes intact.
I give Shane better odds than most. You gave those girls a chance of recovery. And freedom. Be proud of that.
Wherever you are, we closed. You should keep that side door locked, Leroy. You're the only one coming in without knocking. Ain't nobody else around here trying to test me. So we just gonna stand here or you got something you wanna say? You've been planning this since you got out of prison. I know you've been pulling the strings using Daryl to get back at me. Where the hell did this money really go? Wanted on some scratches, couldn't believe my luck. Don't pull that crap on me. This is Daryl's life, man. His future that you're screwing. Well, I'm sorry that my fatherhood skills ain't up to the Daniel Harrison standard. It's a high bar to clear. You keep my pop's name out your mouth. You don't understand it. I'm the one who taught you how to fight, remember? That was a long, long time ago. Not that long.
You know,
At least show me that respect. Respect is earned.
I think I'm tired of doing this right now. This is a break that I'm gonna take for today.
So I'm just a monster even now. We were kids that was nothing we would do for each other. Secrets, birds, beasts. We held
I'm like,
each other
oh,
down through thick and thin. And
what
now
do I want to do now?
look me in the eye and won't trust me. You want me to trust you? Answer my question.
I'm kind of sleepy.
Where did this vibrator come from?
Okay, well, where's my remote?
Gave up my apartment, so
I'm gonna go now. I was much more excited about this when I first started. And I think it's because I was really excited when I was doing Sasha's. And I was like, oh, I could have been sharing this with someone this whole time. But now all of my energy is gone. And I'm like, well, it is almost 8 o'clock. I've had a full day. So I'll do this again tomorrow. What I'm going to do tomorrow, I don't know. Will I be working on this tattoo? Probably not. But I'll probably be doing some fashion stuff tomorrow. So we'll see. Anyway. Oh, 2 people. Hi. Wow. That's so cool to see. Y'all watching me? Okay. Well, I hope I see you tomorrow then. Couldn't tell you what time. Okay. Bye.